Donald Trump has now been cornered by Special Prosecutor Jack Smith, and he absolutely exploded on Troth Sensial. He's cornered and he knows it, and it is not looking good. Salon has a piece about this. Illegal. Trump explodes on Truth Social after Jack Smith corners him on January 6th conspiracy theory. Trump may be forced to give up key defense argument or be exposed to a perjury fest bloodbath, according to a legal expert. I want to talk quite a bit about this perjury idea, but first let me tell you what it was that Donald Trump posted to Troth Sensial. Quote, "Crooked Joe Biden's errand boy, deranged Jack Smith, is obsessed with attacking your favorite president, me, and with interfering in the 2024 presidential election, which I am dominating. Deranged Jack is so," and by the way, there's random capital letters all over this thing. I'm going to ignore that because it's cloying to present it as written. Deranged Jack is so viciously and desperately angry that the Supreme Court just unanimously rejected his flailing attempt to rush this witch hunt that he is ignoring the law and clear instructions from the D.C. court that this case should be stayed and there cannot be any more filings. If you're struggling to understand the way this is parsed, I'm with you. Today's pathetic motion is not just illegal, it is also another unconstitutional attempt to take away my First Amendment rights and to prevent me from saying the truth, that all of these hoaxes are nothing but a political persecution of me, the MAGA movement, and the Republican Party by Crooked Joe and his despicable thugs. Now, I know you all know this. There's no evidence for any of these things. There's no evidence that the filing from Jack Smith is illegal. Imagine just filing for something is illegal. What? There's no evidence that Joe Biden has any involvement in what is happening to Trump in so many different jurisdictions. There's no evidence of any of it, but it doesn't matter. Trump continues. The radical left communists, Marxists, and fascists are petrified of me speaking the truth because the American people don't want them destroying our country. Make America great again.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Exactly. The aspect of this that I want to talk about a little bit is the idea that Trump and others are increasingly pushing, that they're trying to trap them with perjury. Trump has talked about this, and people around Trump have talked about how a lot of these filings, a lot of this he said, she said, a lot of the, we want to introduce this evidence and that, and what the defense lawyers are going to be allowed to say. They often resort to this idea that there's a perjury trap at play. I want to talk a little bit about that. Usually when the term perjury trap is used, it's a situation where what they're arguing is someone is trying to induce perjury. They're using a line of questioning to try to induce someone to lie, to intentionally lie under oath, to perjure themselves. And they're going to do it through the tactics that an attorney or an investigator uses in questioning, often in a legal setting. Usually it's an oxymoron and it's nonsense completely. And I'll tell you a couple of the reasons why. There's a responsibility to be truthful, right? The fundamental premise of a perjury trap assumes that you can be tricked or forced into telling a lie. You have a responsibility to speak truthfully when you're under oath. It's a personal obligation to the individual. It's a legal obligation. It's what the law says you must do. You can't be forced to lie. You are choosing to lie. So the idea that you've been forced, trapped, or induced to lie intentionally implies that there's no personal accountability there. Now, in order to go a little further with this, we have to understand the nature of legal questioning. What are we talking about when we talk about an examination or a deposition or legal questioning? Whether it's in a court of law or in a deposition or in any kind of official setting, we talk about lying to the FBI during an investigatory interview, for example. The legal point of all of those settings is to elicit truthful information or to expose that someone is lying. The concept of a perjury trap suggests questioning that is meant to make someone lie. it's contrary to the legal standards and the ethical standards of most judicial systems. Now, certainly, if you, as the examiner, believe that there is a contradiction between one statement and another, then you can expose that through questions that are still designed to be answered truthfully. If there are two supposedly truthful answers that conflict, you have exposed that someone has lied. You've not proven perjury. Because remember, perjury has to do with state of mind and it has to do with intent. So the problem, Giuliani has talked about this, suborning perjury and others. The problem with the so-called, they're trying to get Trump to perjure himself. It implies an external force that's responsible for your choice to lie under oath or not. And it contradicts the principles of personal accountability and legal ethics and what judicial proceedings are meant to do. It also, by the way, contradicts one of the favorite principles of the modern right wing, which is that of personal responsibility. They forced me to lie. Well, what are you talking about? They forced you to lie. Did they expose that your new testimony is inconsistent with your previous testimony? Was it made evident that you said contradictory things about the same set of facts? What is it exactly that you mean? But personal responsibility goes out the window, as these values often do. So with regard to this filing by Jack Smith being illegal, no legal, I'm not a lawyer, so what I tell you is, what do I see legal experts saying? I've found no serious legal expert that says the filing is illegal. We do have potentially, two runaway trains speeding towards each other on the same track when it comes to what we expect Trump's behavior to be once the criminal trials start. I think it's going to be absolutely insane. Let's take a break. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, maybe today is the day to do it. Last few days of 2023, we hit 2 million. Now we're shooting for 2.5. Help us get a little bit closer. We'll take a break, and then we will be back with legal advice from Tucker Carlson and so many other things.